So we did some calculation and we find that if our family wants to travel to Japan by the end of this pandemic, 12 months from now, we need to start saving 55 ringgit a day. The question is, where do we find 55 ringgit a day to save? 492 days. That's how long it's been since the first lockdown. And it all began with some mysterious bad virus spreading in China, and then before we all knew it, it became a full-blown pandemic, sending the world into a state of horror. And soon governments all over the world, including Malaysia, implemented lockdowns, travel restriction, and then social distancing.
Malaysian police have set up more than 500 roadblocks.
Now, it's been more than a year. Economies are slowly opening up. People are getting vaccinated. And this vaccine hopefully is coming to an end. Well, COVID-19 may have changed the way we live our lives and implemented a new norm, but some things just don't change. Hey love, what do you want to do after COVID ends?
Travel.
Where you want to go?
Japan.
Yes, traveling to Japan. That is something we as a family really want to do. Why? Because Japan is a beautiful country with rich culture and many beautiful places to visit. And more importantly, for us, a family with kids, it is child-friendly. So I've been thinking about this. How can I save up enough money in the next 12 to 18 months so that I can travel to Japan without any financial worry? Because, come on, let's be real, right? Traveling is expensive. Air tickets, accommodation, food, shopping, all these need money. So in this video, I'll be talking about how am I going to save extra money for this trip without needing to dip into my family expenses or my emergency fund. That way, I can travel without any financial worries. It all begins with a plan, and my plan is to go to Japan for 2 weeks, and this should give us enough time as a family with kids to explore at our own comfortable place without the need to rush around. And this is what we're gonna do there. First, we're gonna go eat sashimi in Toyoshu, and then we're gonna go Shibuya to experience a crazy crowd, and we're gonna take a day trip to Lake Kawaguchi. Why? Because I heard that that's where you get the best view of Mount Fuji. You know the famous picture that you always see on Mount Fuji? Yeah, that's where you get it there. And we plan to go for a nice stroll and picnic in Yoyogi Park in the city center of Tokyo. And last but not least, ramen hunting. Ramen there is so damn good, and I can't wait to experience this all over again.
Unbelievable.
I'm so excited just thinking about where to go in Japan, planning the trip itself. For me, planning the trip is really very important because it always gets me really pumped up and motivated to save up for the trip. But more importantly, it also tells me how much I need to plan for the trip.
Plan ini. Berapa kali plan dah.
Oh, by the way guys, you can check out this website called budgetyourtrip.com, which I find it really convenient to plan your trip. All you need to do is just key in the destination you want to go and the style that you want to travel in, whether it's budget or mid-range or luxury. Then it will automatically tabulate how much you roughly will need for your trip, how much is the daily expenses, weekly and monthly and so on. Anyway, they don't sponsor us or anything, I just find it really convenient using that website. And for myself, this is what I found. For a trip to Japan that is mid-range for about 2 weeks, it will cost us roughly about 16,000 ringgit. And since I have kids and this doesn't even include the airfare, I'm gonna put together around 20,000. I think that should be safe for my trip to Japan. While for yourself, this number will be different because it really depends on where you want to go and the style that you want to travel. But for myself, the goal is to save 20,000 ringgit in the next 12 months. Whew! How am I gonna do that? Guess how much we spent on Grab food last month?
Huh? How much?
Ringgit in a month. I don't know about your family, but for mine, since the pandemic, we have been quite dependent on food delivery. We have been using services like Foodpanda and GrabFood quite a lot. Sometimes we'll wake up late or we're just too lazy to cook, then we'll order food delivery. Also because we have not been dining outside, so food delivery has been kind of a little luxury for the family. But just with a quick check through our purchase history, I was shocked. As a family, we actually spent 798 ringgit on food delivery in June alone. If you take this number and multiply it by 12 months, that would be 9,576 ringgit. That's a whole lot of money spent on food delivery. So, this is what we're gonna do. Instead of depending on food delivery, we plan to prepare our own meal. This way, instead of putting some huge effort to save money, we can immediately save a significant amount of money with little effort. So we decided to buy some cereals and muesli in bulk. And guess what? For a 500 gram of muesli and 1 kilogram of cornflake, it only costs us 30 ringgit. And it will be able to last us about 2 weeks for the family. That's a whole lot cheaper than Grab food. But this doesn't mean that our breakfast is boring. Sometimes we plan to have toast, and sometimes if we have time, we will cook some omelette and pancake. Anyway, it's still going to be cheap. If we order food delivery, it will easily cost us 30 ringgit for a family. But by preparing our own breakfast, I estimate it will only cost us around 7 ringgit for the whole family. And that is a saving of 23 ringgit. Assuming we'll be ordering breakfast once a week. And then the remaining 6 days we prepare our own breakfast. That's a saving of 23 ringgit multiplied by 6 days a week and then 52 weeks a year. That's a saving of 7,176 ringgit. This money can pay for our family's air ticket to Japan. And guess what? There's still some leftover for expenses there. At this point, I also have a confession to make. I actually spend a lot of money on coffee. Every day, I actually will buy a cup of coffee. Sometimes it's Starbucks or Coffee Bean. Actually, it doesn't matter because I just need a strong cup of coffee to help me to go through my day. I believe many of you coffee junkies out there actually can understand this very well.
New Nescafe. Cup after cup.
And just a simple calculation, I realized that I've been spending around 10 ringgit a day just for coffee alone. But now, since I have a goal to save up for, this coffee has to go. But this doesn't mean I'm gonna stop drinking coffee. Again, I need to find a cheaper alternative.
Coffee is one of the many sources that fuel our creativity.
So after research, I decided to make my own coffee. What I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna get this 1 ringgit coffee machine, and all I need to do is buy some coffee pots, which cost around 1 ringgit and 50 cents each. And multiply this 8 ringgit and 50 cents, and assuming that I'll still order coffee, but I'll limit it to only once a week. This means the remaining 6 days I'll be making my own coffee. This savings of 8 ringgit and 50 cents a day multiplied by 6 days a week, then 52 weeks a year, that is a saving of 2,652 ringgit. This amount will help us to pay for our living arrangement in Japan.
Hotel Trivago.
So yeah, just by preparing my own coffee, our accommodation is taken care of. Now, maybe you are like me. You have some mindless habits that is costing you some extra money every month. Maybe it's smoking, maybe it's coffee, maybe it's alcohol. I'll encourage you to look for some cheaper alternative. You know, I have a friend who smokes and he decided to switch from buying packed cigarettes to wrapping his own cigarettes. And he told me this, it saved him a lot of money every month. Maybe you can try that too if you have a very bad vice that you can't quit. By the way, I don't endorse smoking, alright? And I still think it's better to just quit.
If you're doing it, stop it. Get some help.
Another step that I take is to review my monthly subscription. And for me, one of the biggest subscription plan is my mobile plan. My current mobile plan is 176 ringgit per month with 60 gig of data and a subline. But think about it, with COVID, I don't really travel now. And most of the time, I have access to Wi-Fi at home or in the office. I barely even use any of my mobile data. Sometimes even less than 1 gigabyte a month. So after some research, I decided to switch to a new mobile service provider. With this new plan, I will only pay 60 ringgit per month with a subline and 10 gigabyte of mobile data. That's more than enough for me. And the best part, I get to save 116 ringgit a month. After 12 months, I'll be able to save an extra of 1,392 ringgit. This is at least 2 days of expenses in Japan. So just by making these little changes, immediately I get to save up some extra money. I believe if you do the same, you will find yourself saving some extra money as well. For my case, these little changes has helped me to save an extra of 11,220 ringgit. That's half of my travelling fund to Japan. And now I'm halfway to achieving my goal. Now, the point is this, just by consciously putting some effort into readjusting your behavior and expenses, you may surprise yourself by saving a significant sum of money.
Surprise, motherfucker.
For some of you, maybe just by doing this simple adjustment, you will be able to pay for your trip already. But for me, I will still need to raise 8,780 ringgit to achieve my goal. Well, you got a family now. Since I don't plan to squeeze my family lifestyle any further, I decided to earn the remaining amount. Now, during this lockdown, one thing I did was to spring clean my house. I found a bunch of gadgets lying around that we don't really use anymore. So my plan is this, sell this unused gadget and make some extra cash. I think just by trading in these old laptops and iPads and stuff like that, I can probably make quite an extra money. And based on my estimation, it should be about 1,500 ringgit. For yourself, maybe you also have some old gadgets lying around in your house and some unused item that you don't use anymore. Well, if you find any of those, just sell it so you can make some extra money and contribute to your travel fund. And before we move on, I would like to have your permission to share with you a little bit about our sponsor for this video. As you know, I'm a huge advocate for lifelong learning, and I believe our ability to earn is reflected by our ability to provide value. Therefore, the more you learn, the more you will earn. And Skillshare helps me to do just that. It's an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. So if you enjoy learning and you would like to support our channel, you can use my link below, and the first 1,000 of our subscribers will get a 1-month free trial to Skillshare Premium. Now, I have a remaining of 7,280 ringgit to achieve my 20,000 goal. If I were to break this number into a smaller amount, that is 600 ringgit a month. Now, 600 ringgit a month is not a big amount, but you probably need to put some extra effort to work it out. For myself, I have some contacts who have been regularly asking me to do some events, to moderate or to host it as an MC. And based on my knowledge, the standard rate for an MC is about 3,000 ringgit to 8,000 ringgit. So my plan is this: I'm going to take at least 2 jobs this year. With that, I believe I'll be able to achieve my 20,000 ringgit goal. That's for me. But for yourself, maybe you can think about something that can help you to make money. Maybe you have a hobby, such as you're good at baking, then you can sell your cake on social media. Or maybe you are good in English, then offer your services as a tuition teacher to students. Or maybe you just want to keep things simple, right? Then just take your car, sign up as a Grab driver. Or maybe you're up to take up a new challenge. Then you can check out this class in Skillshare by Tracy Wallace and learn how to build a successful online business. Just in case you really successfully built a new recurring income, then great, now you don't even have to worry about holiday expenses anymore. Every year, you can travel without any financial worry because you got a business to pay for it. Oh yeah, and one important trick. This is very important, especially if you're like me and you have an itchy hand and tend to spend off the money that you save. I will keep this money away from myself, into somewhere that I can't conveniently access.
Can't touch this.
So this is what am I going to do? I'm going to invest this money, and I'm going to invest it into something that's low risk while allowing me the flexibility to add on money whenever I got extra, and it has to give me some return at the end of the period. That way, my money will work for me in that investment, and by the end of 12 months, I'll have some extra return of few hundred ringgit. Then with that money, probably I can buy some meals in the plane or maybe upgrade my seat. So for me personally, I think the best choice is actually to keep the money in a money market fund. And if you'd like to know more about money market fund, you can check out our video about Bursa or Stash Away Simple in the link below. So these are some of the ways that I'm using to save up extra money so that I can travel right after this pandemic ends. But imagine, if you can do this every year, then you can travel every year without any financial worry.